Hey guys, it's Holly Tate, Vice President of Business Development here at Vanderbloemen.
And Tim Stevens, Vice President of Consulting.
And we are excited to bring you our Church Culture Roundtable that we partner with PushPay on to Orange County in November. So November 19th, Tim Stevens will be there with the PushPay team at Mariners Church. Mariners is one of our clients. It was such an honor to help Kenton Be Sure do his succession plan. Actually, Tim, you were a pivotal part of finding Eric Geiger for Mariners.
Worked with Mariners both at Irvine and at Huntington Beach.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, it has been quite the road show. I think this is maybe our sixth one.
I think so, sixth or seventh maybe, yeah.
We've been to San Antonio and Austin, Nashville, Chicago, and Phoenix, and now we are headed to Orange County. So, Tim, what do you feel like has been one of the biggest takeaways that you've seen church leaders kind of walk away with? Oh, wow, that was really helpful.
Yeah, you know what? We've spent some time talking about culture, and one of the things that I think people have tuned into or maybe leaned into the most is when we talk about looking at your staff and measuring them both by performance, which is kind of obvious, but also by culture. Like how well do they fit the DNA? How well do they exude the DNA, the attitude that you hope for in your staff members? And then as well, looking at performance and just how well do they do their role. And then what do you do with that? Once you have that information, like how do you move forward? And I think that's been the big takeaway.
Well, you use this framework. I mean, if you join us at the roundtable, you'll get to learn this framework that Tim will teach you. And I can just see light bulbs go off and everybody grabs their pen or takes a picture of the whiteboard. So you don't want to miss that because it's really helpful as a leader. Why do you think that really resonates with leaders?
I think, at any given time, we're all going through staff issues, and sometimes we can't pinpoint it. Sometimes it just feels like things aren't right. Sometimes things are humming on all cylinders, and that's great, and we want to keep it there. So it's like, how do we make sure we maintain a great culture? But sometimes it's like, if you've got a staff that's 4 people, 6 people, 60 people, sometimes you just have issues that you need to figure out, how do I dive into that, and then how do I graciously walk through that?
Totally. And then PushPay is going to join us. We're going to have Troy, who is the chief ambassador at PushPay, and he talks about how to nurture your community. So Tim, you led a pretty innovative church at Granger before your time at Vanderbloemen.
Right.
So why do you think that concept of nurturing or assimilation and discipleship, why is that such a challenge for us as church leaders?
I think we're all trying to figure out how not just to have attendees, people that come on the Sunday, but how are we going to help them take steps into their faith, steps into connection with each other, steps into Bible study, steps closer to being involved in what the church is about and the mission of the church. So I think Troy really hits that well when he talks about it.
He really does. And that's why we do these church culture roundtables, because we want to help resource church leaders. That's why Tim and I do what we do all day, every day. And you're going to learn how to do that, how to, first of all, lead yourself. Tim, you give an incredible talk at the beginning about self-leadership and creating margin in your own life, and then aligning your team. And then once you kind of got your house in order as a church or a ministry, how can you then nurture the outside of your church, your attendees, your community, and ultimately grow your church, not just in numbers of attendance, but of health, grow the health of your church. So we'll see you there on November 19th. Make sure you sign up so we can get lunch for everybody. And thank you, Tim, for your investment in church leaders through these roundtables.
Look forward to seeing you all there.